Side control is hard to get, easy to lose. When I need, okay, so what is guard passing is I gotta get past his feet, his knees, his hips, hip line, belt line, chest, head, and control balance between the head and the hips, okay? So let's say I get here, 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 and I'm passing shoulder guard as usual. I get the side control, but the problem is, in this situation, I'm about as close to his legs as I can be without being in a half guard, okay? I'm literally just a few steps from being either in an open guard or in a half guard. So one thing that is very important for you to be able to do is I'm connecting my right hip with his right hip, and my right elbow is controlling his far hip, okay? So they're kind of wedged in. So when he tries to move, I can move with intent to keep him flat so that his frames push me up and pin him more. What I don't want is this, because his frames won't enable him to move laterally, and that's not good for me. So whenever you get into any form of position, you first have to establish control before you begin to proceed into any form of attack. Because if I'm not controlling him and I begin to attack him, there's a good chance I'm going to lose this position. And the position that I'm going to lose is going to be either an open guard or a half guard, or maybe, you know, a guard itself, okay, close guard. But what I want you guys to understand is my objective is to keep him flat, okay? So that as he's here struggling, I'm controlling his head. I need to move his head off alignment with the spine so that he don't need to adjust his hips. So I'm balancing, okay? Hip, head, hip, head, hip, head. And I keep pushing myself forward with the feet that you'll see here. Okay? And I'm always driving laterally here, okay? So now I'm driving my hip into him, okay? So that I can control his hips. In any like worst case scenario, or in a best case scenario, as he starts moving and he makes a good like movement with his hips out, I can begin to roll my hips, switch my base, and move it back if I want to, and just keep rolling on him like so, where I can break down this frame right here, okay? Now, if he gets here, I would just begin to go here, because if I want him to pull it out, he should be able to pull it out here. This is a bait just for him to pull it out. Yeah, right here. And then I go back to the side control here, okay? My objective is to attack him, okay? And one thing that you guys gotta understand is I like to go for submissions that have a higher degree of difficulty because it looks fancier on video. But look, if I'm here and I go for a cheap key lock right here, okay? That's great, but I don't feel a sense of accomplishment. I want something that's got a higher degree of difficulty. However, when he's kind of flat here, my submissions are a bit limited here. So what I like to do is, I like to get him north-south, but I want him on his side, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get here, okay? I prefer him on the other side, on his right side, yeah. So here, and I keep pulling this arm here as I get here, and we get here. Okay, this is what I call the north-south matrix. And the shoulder, neck, shoulder, neck, head is like a saddle. So you sit on the saddle and attack the top arm. All right? So we're gonna reverse it. If you go. So we're here. So as I'm constantly controlling him, I gotta be dynamic. If you're here, you're not dynamic on your knees, and there's no pressure on him. Okay? If I'm here, as he begins to move, I can begin to move, and I can get north, south. Let's say we're here. Okay. Oftentimes, they'll pull their hand through because that's normally what happens. So when you're here, typically he's going to defend. If that arm is there, with his bottom arm, defends the top arm. Okay. So while I'm in north-south, okay, I keep his arms pinned. I'm going to grab his lapel here. I'm going to feed it under my hand. I'm going to lock up both of his hands here. I'm going to walk up behind him, and I'm going to place a pillow right about here, okay? And then I'm gonna go right under his throat, right here, grab a shoulder, and then press. Because now you have his hands locked up, fairly controlled, okay? The key is to keep him on his side and to prevent him from rolling to his back, okay? So if he tries to roll to his back, I use this to open up my elbow, and I can drop my chest and keep pushing forward, okay? So you can do a couple things, all right? Keep this knee under his head. If his chin is down here, just grab his head right here and just get under. Just go 4 fingers in, pull your left elbow left, and your right elbow right. So I want to get my right elbow to my thigh, okay? But if I just do this, it can work. But when I pull my left hand to the left, my left elbow towards his left hip, and now pull it, it works great, okay? I can also, if this is all like super tight and I can't get in there, I prefer you not even use your thumb. Just get here, just grab somewhere right here. Hopefully you'll grab some skin and chest here too. And you pull left and right and elbow down. Sometimes you can just get to the elbow here, to the shoulder and crank right here. But the key is to lock this up right here. This is great for law enforcement jacket. And you get a better control from north-south. So I have a Kimura grip. So let's say I got here and I fed this right here. Okay, the figure 4 seatbelt, right? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loop this elbow over. He will probably defend his arms, yeah. And just step over 1, 2, and sit on that side, okay? And take your hand, open it, take the lapel, pull it under. And I want this. I don't want this. I want this, this, and this, okay? From here, get under, wedge him here, okay? From here, tilt to your left in order to get underneath the chin. Because some have a strong chin, they'll tuck their chin, okay? It's tough. We can go with the nose here and then just wedge it right in there. Grab a shoulder, you'll start like this. See how far off to the left I am? So my elbow can come in. So let's say he won't, defend with the chin. Reach, cut the shoulder, left hand, pull, okay? So lock him in and drive your right elbow with your right thigh. Then, grab somewhere right about here, but don't use your thumb, okay? But what I want to do is second I grab, pull, slack and pull back. And then again, this left hand, elbow pulls, like my elbow drives in his hip, and I'm constantly applying pressure on my chest, and then drop your elbow, okay? So here are 2 submissions. That's it. There's another one right there. All right? And if he goes the other way, he goes the other way. So you have 2 wrist locks. Choke. Here. Choke. Here. And if he's just really stubborn and his chin's down, you can't get underneath, you can get all the way around here. Trying to make contact with the face there. Look weird. And then you pull. So there's 5 submissions for you guys to play with. But get this handcuff from north-south. How you do it? You're gonna do this. Your partner's gonna be on their right side. Right shoulder, right elbow, right hip, right knee, right foot. Everything on the right side. Okay? I had a hard time with a lot of people this weekend who couldn't differentiate left and right. Okay? Typically when you're here, okay, I always go for this. I always go for this right here. Okay? Now what I'm gonna do here is, just so you have the figure 4 seatbelt, I'm gonna loop this over. It looks like I'm gonna go for a Kimura. He defends both arms. There you go. Okay? Keep your forearm on his head and just step over. Sit on the saddle here, okay? Keep your chest so you can let go with your hand, your elbows together. Grab that lapel, go under, pull the slack out, okay? Underneath here, wedge him forward here, slide that knee here, lean left here, like a knife. First and foremost, reach for that. It's almost like you're touching your knee here. Not almost, I'm touching my knee and touching the shoulder. Pull it up and finish it. So you got 1, you don't get the shoulder, grab somewhere over here, chest to your skin combination. Okay, there's 2. There's 3, 4, and then right here. This one's a little bit trickier because your wrist gets tight, but you can still get it right here. Okay, I wouldn't even go for that. The other one's better. 1, 2, 3. Partner's going to be on the right side. TJ, where you been?
I went out of the country, then I got back, and I got COVID for a while. So I was trying to.
You got what?